This very moment, somewhere in the world, a person is taking their final breath. Their family may be calling their name, doctors may still be trying to save them, but according to Islamic belief, something unseen has already arrived. An angel with one task, a task no human being has ever escaped. You may know him as Azrael, but the Qur'an gives him a title even more terrifying, Malak al-Mawt, the angel of death, and one day he will come for every soul. But here is the first thing most people get wrong. The Qur'an never actually names him Azrael. That name became common through later religious tradition and folklore. In the Qur'an, he is simply the angel of death, the one appointed to take souls when their time ends. He is not a god. He does not choose who dies. He does not decide the hour. He only carries out a command already given. And that means death is not wandering aimlessly through the world. It has an appointment, a precise moment attached to every life. You may escape an accident, survive an illness, avoid a war. But when that moment arrives, nothing can push it back. Not money, not medicine, not power, not even for one more second. And this is where the story becomes darker. Most people imagine death as something that comes from outside, a disease, a wound, a failing heart. But in Islamic belief, these are only the visible causes. Behind them is an unseen command. The angel of death does not need to search for you. He does not need to know your address. He does not need to cross a locked door. You could be inside a fortress, beneath the earth, surrounded by guards, or completely alone. If your time has arrived, distance means nothing, and no one in the room may even know he is there. But death is not experienced the same way by every soul. For some, the final moment is the beginning of relief. For others, it is the beginning of terror. Islamic tradition describes angels of mercy descending to the righteous believer. The dying person may appear weak or silent to everyone around them, but something far greater may be happening beyond human sight. The soul is called to leave with words of peace. It is promised mercy, forgiveness, and a return to a Lord who is pleased with it. The body may struggle, the breathing may slow, but the soul's journey is described as gentle. Not because death has disappeared, but because fear has been replaced by reassurance. The person leaves behind their home, their name, their possessions, and every voice they loved. Yet they are not abandoned, they are received. But then comes the opposite scene. The soul of a person who rejected truth and lived without repentance is described very differently. The command comes, but the soul does not want to leave. It recoils within the body. It clings to the life it thought would continue forever. Suddenly, everything it trusted becomes useless. Wealth remains in the house. Status remains in the world. The body remains on the bed. But the soul is pulled away from all of it. And for the first time, it understands that death was not the end. It was the beginning of accountability. This is why the angel of death is so feared. Not because he is evil, but because his arrival means every excuse is over. There is no more time to change, no more promises to become better tomorrow, no more chance to repair what was deliberately ignored. The appointment has arrived, and it cannot be postponed. But what does the angel of death actually look like? Paintings and stories often show Azrael as a towering figure with enormous wings, a black cloak, a sword, or a face hidden in darkness. Yet, authentic Islamic sources do not provide a complete physical description of him. There may be no cloak, no scythe, no skeletal face. Those are images created by human imagination. The real mystery is more disturbing. He may arrive without any visible sign at all. No shadow on the wall, no sound in the hallway, no warning that anyone else can hear, only the command. And then the soul leaves. Religious folklore tells of people trying to escape death by traveling far away. One man sees death approaching and flees to another land. But when he reaches safety, he discovers that the place he ran to was the exact place where he was destined to die. Whether told as folklore or moral teaching, the message is clear. You cannot escape death by changing your location, because death is not searching for your place. It is waiting for your time. Every king who believed himself untouchable eventually met it. Every warrior who survived 100 battles eventually surrendered to it. Every ruler whose name terrified nations eventually became a name carved in stone. The angel of death does not care whether someone is powerful or forgotten, rich or poor, loved by millions or dying alone. When the command arrives, every human being becomes equal. And there is something else people misunderstand. The angel of death does not act independently. He does not hunt people for pleasure. He does not take lives out of anger. He is a servant carrying out the will of Allah. He cannot be bribed. He cannot be threatened. He cannot be persuaded to return next year. He does not arrive early, and he is never late. Perhaps that is what makes him so terrifying. A monster can be fought, an enemy can be avoided, a ruler can be negotiated with. But the angel of death is not an enemy. He is the final messenger of a command that cannot be reversed. One day, the world will continue without you. Your room will still exist. Your belongings will pass into other hands. Your voice will survive only in memory. People will speak about you in the past tense. And somewhere between one heartbeat and the next, the angel appointed over death will arrive. Not as a god, not as a demon, not as a creature of evil, but as the servant of a command written long before you knew your own name. So the true question is not whether the angel of death will find you. He will. The real question is, what kind of soul will he find when he arrives?